Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today we're going to look at 3 more Rebellion cards. These are 3 that I received a couple days ago and I reviewed in a live event recently. I was hanging out with Golden Skeeter. We saw Flame Mephit, we saw Lord Thanalor, and we saw Meriput Magician. These are the 3 that we saw and we discussed in this video. These are really shocking to me. Some of these abilities are kind of overwhelming when they compound with some of the synergies that are possible. So I hope you'll stick around and stay tuned while you hear my thoughts on these amazing new Rebellion cards. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Appreciate your viewership, your thumbs up, your subscriptions. Have an amazing day. God bless. Let's spend about 15 minutes on these guys here. I haven't talked about these at all. Now I know that's quite small. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. So it's a little blurry. This one was released by Clove. And she covered it on Twitch, I think, and then she dropped it in Mav's chat. You can see that, can't you, Skeeter?
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, that card looks super strong. If you compare it to the 2-mana Crystal Archer, whatever it is, the neutral one, this thing has 1 more speed and 1 more HP, I think, over it, plus flying and backfire. It's kind of like that Dragon Archer card without the swiftness, but this guy has backfire and flying instead, so he's more of a sneak defensive play instead of an offensive play. I think it's very strong for 2 mana.
Definitely. The flight is really interesting because, you know, Earthquake rule sets, because this is a 25% chance to evade as long as your opponent does not have flying, and that combination therefore with the backfire. And then if you can bring a blind, which is another 15%, I'm really using blind these days. I'm using a ton of it, like just for evasiveness. And it's really with some of these phase monsters, I really use it, but absolutely in an archery only rule set, this could be a very interesting tank, particularly if you happen to have a blind monster that is an archer that can bring that capacity in. Cause yeah.
Oh, sorry. And then you throw in the lookout next to it, and now it takes 1 damage from sneak or 2 damage from sneak with the flying and blind.
Yes.
And now you got a sneak defense for 2 mana.
Wow, great call. No, for sure. Love that. And for 2 mana, right? And maybe your summoner has headwinds if it's you could use quicks and bring it in. You could use quicks and bring it in. It'll give you that headwinds if it's an archery only. Love it. It's going to be like, this is the thing. We've got so much new, exciting ways to look through this. And then even we know that fire is going to partner with death too. So maybe this is like another 2-mana archer. Some of the plays we talked about earlier, Virus suggested, you suggested with the death fire combo, they're a bit higher in mana. There's the Wave Brood. Well, that's the blue one. There's the Queen of Crows, which is 9. There's the fire one with headwinds. I forget, it's 7 or so, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Ash Mirage, 7 mana. So that's not exactly cheap. And then you want to balance it out with a 2 mana, this new 2 mana Flame Mephit.
Oh yeah, the Flame Mephit will be a tank too. You know, you just kind of spam that Antoid platoon, and then you put him right behind her, and you're pretty good.
Yeah,
Antoid platoon's not going to get sneak attacked and crippled down or whatever.
Yeah, love it, man. And the 2 mana, anything under. I saw somebody say recently that the Rebellion is really impacting the 4 mana meta, like this Little League, and I think so far that has been pretty true. Like a lot of the cards, there's been 15 cards. This is 16 for me that I've seen of the 96 that are coming with Rebellion. There's a lot of little mana monsters. Now there's some big ones too, but there's a lot of little ones. This one's hugely impactful. This one looks pretty decent. I'm not so convinced about Moxiel, but again, 4 mana is pretty interesting. Lurker Puffer for 2 mana looks crazy to me.
I'm super hyped on the Lurker Puffer. And that guy, he's good against poison, and he has snare against flying Earthquake rule set. So he's the Snai Earthquake poison counter.
This is like the everything card for 3 mana. Like, I mean, this is like a very, very effective card for 3 mana, considering how much hit point, considering immunity, and I don't know if there's a lookout on the green team, but man, I'm thinking like lookout to support your tank even, right? You could put your lookouts in. I was always thinking about lookout from the perspective of like the 5th spot to support my sneak and opportunity maybe monsters, but it's totally plausible to put a lookout in the right context with the right skill set in the 2nd position to support your tank.
Dude, yeah, with Lily Shieldpot, where you force them to attack your tank, and their sneak attacks now go at the front, and now your lookout's going to hit your tank.
Shield Paw. I'm like, oh yeah, Shield Paw. You're right. Yeah.
It's camouflage.
Yeah.
And now they attack the front, and then now you know where they're going to attack, and you can put a lookout up there if you expect sneak.
Yes. Interesting, man. Really cool. So many fun new like angles and synergies. Let me put up this. I'm going to put up Flame Mephit one more time on the screen here, and just I want to see if the chat's talking about this guy here. Let's see, with flanking fire, 2 mana only. We have gathering for 2 mana only. Wow. That one with Jasic will be fun. Yeah. Speed, right? The +2 speed. And the +2 speed with the flight adding to its evasiveness, proccing that backfire more often. 6 speed. 6 speed in 6 speed in the tank position.
Plus a blind.
Yeah, plus a blind and the flight. Unless you brought snare, good luck. Yeah.
Wow. That can be a tank.
Yeah.
The right rule set.
Really cool. Really cool. I have not looked at, like, I obviously saved these, I found them, but I didn't think thoughtfully about them as yet. So I'm loving that conversation, both from Gathering and yourself, Skeeter. Thanks for the, for 2 mana in a certain rule set, a tank, and absolutely even I would say in like an off tank setting, or like I picture like a sneak attack evader. Like I like putting the I forget what its name is, but that Dragon 2 archery Dragon 2 archery card with the swiftness and the backfire, I put that in the back sometimes as a sneak defense. And a card like this is the same idea in some sense.
Yeah, exactly. Except this one has flying and not swiftness.
Yes.
So it's
more
defensive and does its job better.
That's right. Yeah, unless they have flying too, because then that neutralizes that 25%. Okay. Maybe any more thoughts on that one?
No, let's go to the next card.
Okay.
This one, next one, 12 mana, looks powerful.
Dude, this looks beast. This makes me think of like Lord of the Rings, which I'm a huge fan of.
Oh yeah. Dude, that's sick. It's like the elf leader, like Elrond kind of.
Yeah. It kind of looks like it actually kind of looks like what's his name? Thalamor. It's Legolas's father. And also, but he also kind of looks like Denethor, Boromir's father, like a cross, like a cruel king is what I'm imagining. What is Legolas's father's name? I think it's like Thranduil. This is him from like the Hobbit, but then he's too he's too chill. So you gotta mix in some Denethor. And you got like
this guy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But what do you see when you see this one?
I'm just learning how impactful Rust is. Like Rust is game changing, especially like if you put a Protect or Alchemist the Bear, and then your opponent has Rust. It's like, well, that extra 4 mana from the Bear kind of just went away because now he doesn't give armor to everyone, and then now you can counter it with Rust. And it seemed like Life needed some more big magic monsters since we have Bile of the Radiant and High King Darius rotating out. So this will help fill the niche. And then it just has Scavenge, and we've seen how strong that is.
I know.
With 6 speed.
This is bananas. So,
yeah, I don't know. You get this guy phase somehow, he could be really powerful too. With the 6 speed. It's really ridiculous how he has 6 speed.
Yeah.
For a magic monster.
I know.
There's hardly any magic monsters with that much speed.
Yeah, this is why this card is wild. This is like I didn't do any, like I'm just like taking it in now. As I look at this, I'm like, whoa. The one limitation here, obviously, like the huge mana cost, you can't play it everywhere. Also, you're susceptible to giant kill. But this is a magic monster, so I don't need to put it in the front line. It doesn't have taunt, so I don't need to necessarily worry about the susceptibility to giant kill. I can position it wherever I want. It has a huge hit point pool to start with, and the Scavenge. Even with Dr. Blight, we find it has 4 hit points or something like that, and by the end of the game, it has 10, 12. Now Dr. Blight has camouflage, but there's lots of times scavenger monsters just get out of control. And I will often, with the Death Splinter, I will use a scavenger type play to counter Noxious Fumes or to counter Flight. Earthquake rule set, because you're going to lose power. You're going to lose hit points but as the table is getting cleared of monsters both from your team and the opponent's team, those scavengers are all getting, like, in some sense, a heal or an extra hit point. Scavenger is powerful. The armor too is nice. And yeah, what you said about Rust, I totally agree. This season in particular, and I don't know why, maybe, but Rust has been a bigger part of my game style. One of the things I've found recently with Rust is that, yes, you mentioned Bear and how it introduced Protect, and maybe there are more Protect monsters lately. I can think of a couple as I struggle to grab it from my head. There's that new Archer from the Death Splinter that provides Inspire plus Protect. But regardless of whether there's more Protect, it just seems to me like I want to be able to curate the battlefield so that I can beat you in certain ways. And one of the ways I use Rust to do that is if I'm bringing Possibilis into the rule set, if I'm bringing a trample monster or a trample approach, I want to make sure you don't have one little armor that's gonna stop my massive trample. And so bringing one Rust or even sometimes two Rusts, if in a certain situation, or if I see what you've done in the last 5 battles and you use armor a lot, that is one of the things that I'm doing, because that one armor can stop a trample, and if I just have that Rust, you don't even get it.
Yeah, it's really important. For that Rust as well, like you're talking about. And I'm just kind of thinking about how this guy synergizes with kind of more general Sloan, because he reduces the armor, and then your archers can hit straight to the core, like a Pellicore Arbalist could be very synergetic with this card.
Yeah. So fast, man. So fast. It's going to fire first or among your first monsters to fire.
Yeah.
And with the Immortalis, you're going to get Shatter. Yeah. So, interesting.
And I want to put Martyr in front of this guy. It gives him scavenge and extra attack, and he'll gain the armor. That seems like a win-win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. Very strong. I guess the only question is this, really. Like, I don't see any other impediment here. I wonder with the chat if you guys are dropping anything. New use for a Qantas Fire Team, Gargor, and Enrage it. Without. This is Virus is chatting about this Flame Mephit. It's
Scargor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, Scargor with the Enrage, right? Boom. Note that you are not hitting me anymore. That's wild.
Yeah, and you could do the Chaos Agent right in front of it, and then you get to do that guy, and then you have 2 guys with like 4 speed that they'll enrage with either dodge or flying.
Yeah. Wow. And even in that rule set where Equalizer, where everyone gets the same crazy hit points, a card like this, it's like, it is great. Actually, I really like this card as a tank, as an off tank kind of situation. Like, the only impediment, 6 is still a good amount of hit points, but 10 is better. And you would get that for 2 mana theoretically. Any thoughts on this elf here, guys? Let's see here. Thanduil, Gathering knew who it was. Let's see. Does Rust stack? Does Rust stack if 2 monsters have Rust? Yes, it does. Wait for a fast card, Earth card. That's crazy. Yeah, there isn't a lot of, like, Earth has the flying. What's it called? The magic monster that's
Regal Periton.
Yes, which was a 7 speed at the highest level. But there's a lot of slower magic monsters on the Earth team. Isn't there? Like, I mean, let's quickly pick that up.
Like, phase counters Earth, in my opinion, just because they generally have a really slow team.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Magic.
So, and I go for a magic only team. I try to put the Void Dragon up front, especially with Enrage.
I use the Centauri, but this is an older reward card. It's got that Shattered Edge. That means it came out, I think, during Untamed. So that's going to slip out, I think. And then, so Shaman is fast-ish. 3 is not fast, right? Like 7, 6, 5 is fast.
3 is just like not slow.
Yes. So Runemancer Flore with the 4 speed is among the faster. It's not the fastest team. And so you're right, like, if you can bring a phase that has some decent speed, like that 7 mana neutral Almo Cambio, then you're starting to get into a place where your green's gonna be in trouble. Any last thoughts on Thanalor? 30 seconds on Thanalor?
I think the 6 speed is a little power creeped, but that's okay. Yeah. He's 12 mana, so that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see this being a 13 mana or like, you know what I mean? Like something, you're right. There's something here. This is a strong card. Something, either this probably should be a little higher or maybe something in here should be a little lower. This guy here, Meriput, or girl, I'm going to say, Meriput Magician. So cute. My daughter's going to love this one.
That card looks nuts. It heals itself, and it has tank heal and shield and triage. So that's another great sneak defense. With 5 speed, this card's super powerful, especially in the current meta when everyone's trying to sneak you from the back.
This one's strengthen. So that's strengthen. So the +1 hit point to your whole team, isn't it? That is right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't misreading that ability. Okay. 5 mana. Let me think this through. 5 mana, great speed again. Now what are we? We're life. Okay. Yeah, tank heal. I mean, it's great to see a new tank heal. The life splinter has always had good tank heal support, good healing, good resurrect, all of that, because it's very thematic with the life. This feels super resilient, right? Like the shield with the 8 hit points and the strengthen, so you're at 9 hit points. This thing's this is a tank. Now I'm not going to put it in the tank spot first and foremost, but if it gets there, you're not upset. You're not necessarily in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, throw the Pelipper Conjurer in front of this and this guy, and you're pretty good. And then you throw in some DPS.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is one Lord then you need Russ big time for possibilities. Wait, General Sloan plus Zariel. Zariel is a card that I'm seeing Skyers drop in a comment. Wait, General Sloan plus Zariel and 2 no attack. You get 18 damage. I actually don't mess around with Zariel. I'm not sure.
So the weapons training maxes out at 4 damage. So it would be 5 plus 5 plus 5, so 15 damage. Or 16 damage.
Whoa. Cool. Let's see. Back away from that. What else do I want to say about this guy? Life Splinter. I mean, this just feels very on brand, is what my thoughts are. I think it's going to be a great. It's like I think this is a must-have card if you play with your Life Splinter. Like this feels like you always need tank heals. This is a strong tank healer. I would say it's probably one of the better healers from that white team because it's not going to just fall over and die. Tank heal. Because so that's not the only ones that exist. What's going on here?
There's a Venari.
Oh, I see. I'm looking at Magic. So look, old school. Truth Speaker slipping out into wild. You got Crystal Smith, and this is slipping out into the wild too. So you literally only have Crystal Smith left, and from the white team, and now you're going to have this other edition. Crystal Smith has 6 hit points too. I like this card, especially with the Dispel, and Dispel's got a recent big buff because of the way that they're changing how weapons training is going to work. Hey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And I think that this new card is going to go really well with that new 4-mana support monster that has repair and protect. And now this guy is going to get armor and be protected and repaired and stuff. I mean, so I think that will make him super resilient.
You mean this one?
Yeah, the Rune Seer Sabaya.
Yeah. This is Dragon, but you're right. The partnership's possible.